Okay, I'm just gonna show you three and a half, four exercises that are my go-to exercises that happen every single week on a Monday. Whatever I'm doing, whether I'm traveling, whether I'm in a different country, whether I'm in a hotel, whether you're at home, you can do these exercises and make a variation of these exercises. But I know that if I do these three exercises throughout the year, three and a half, four exercises that I'm gonna show you, I know that I'm doing two things. I'm making myself a more robust athlete. But the key thing I'm doing to improve my speed is I'm making myself a more powerful athlete by really focusing on my glute strength, my hamstring strength, my quad strength, and robust quads as well, to propel myself forward so that every single stride length begins to get a little bit longer. And you can see this kind of data on your watch these days. If you have the right heart rate monitor, it will tell you your stride length. It'll tell you your oscillation, your bounce, tell you your cadence. You can track those over time. A lot of you love data. You can see how that improves, and you can see the difference when you weren't using strength and conditioning sessions to when you were. It's a huge difference. So we're creating an athlete that doesn't get injured as much, that's more robust, and is more powerful, so therefore is more efficient at moving over the ground and faster at moving over the ground. So let's do it. Okay, so number one exercise, deadlifts. For me, a perfect way to isolate the glutes. We look at this as a simple sum. We're trying to build a robust body, powerful lower legs, but powerful glutes, hamstrings, and quads, and robust quads. To do that, the deadlifts are really gonna attack the glutes and really isolate the glutes. And the more that we engage the glutes and make them fire, whether it's through deadlifts, other exercises in the gym, your faster running, your hill running, it's very easy to target the glutes. The easier it is throughout the rest of your running to engage the glutes and make them work for you. Because if you get those big power muscles doing the work, you're gonna be able to move forward for the same effort level, because the big power muscles, instead of the smaller muscles, are doing the majority of the work. So for the deadlift, what are the main sort of smaller mistakes that I see around the gym? The main mistakes are that people's back is round, so we want to stay away from that because it's an injury risk. And so technique and form is everything. Think to yourself, exactly the same like running, it's about each individual rep. How well can I do each rep and get the absolute most out of each rep? It's not about doing 100 reps that are all over the show. It's about doing each individual rep and creating really good form and technique so you can get as much as you possibly can from each rep in the same way you get as much as you possibly can from each rep or each interval session. So we're thinking about that. The back is going to be straight, and the neck, often see people wanting to sort of look up, which is putting this unnecessary strain here and here are areas that you don't want to be injured on. And so staying away from that just by doing it in the right way is great. Another thing that I like to do is just be flat-footed in bare feet. And you know, some gyms allow it, some gyms don't. I can really feel when I'm in bare feet, or I'm in socks for the video because I've got terrible feet, but I really can feel that it's much easier for me to dig into my heels and engage my glutes. Or you can use the correct shoes. There's lots of lifting shoes out there that are not going to be your typical running shoes with a 10mm drop. You can imagine if your heels are raised a little bit, what that does to your technique and what it does to your form. But here goes. You want to have your legs just a bit further than shoulder width apart. And we're going to hold the bar one under, one over, and we're going to have that exactly the same as hanging leg raises. We're going to hang on the skeleton so that we can relax all the rest of the muscles in the body as much as we possibly can and focus on isolating the glutes as we come up. We're going to slow down. You should be able to feel it even there, alone. Engage in the glutes and let them fire on the way up. So straight back, looking down. The rest of my body is totally relaxed. Main thing I'm engaging there is the glutes, and I can feel a little bit of the hamstrings. Now, if you want to think of a variation for the hamstrings, that would look a little bit like this. So exactly the same starting stance and arms, but we're not going to bend the knees. So as I bring that up, just bringing it down to where I can feel it really stretch, and then bringing it up again. And it may be more difficult for you to engage the hamstrings, especially if you've not done anything like that before. Most of us have picked something up off the floor and realized that it's important for us to bend our knees, because we've been told it since we were a kid. If you pick something off the floor, bend your knees, otherwise you're going to hurt your back. When you're then trying to engage the hamstrings with straight legs, it's a much more alien technique until you get used to it. And again, like anything, if you focus on form and technique and you see the benefits, start to see the benefits on the hamstrings, that relationship between glutes, powerful glutes and powerful hamstrings is going to propel you over the ground much faster, make your stride length longer, make you a faster athlete. Okay, the second main exercise, lunges. Now, you can do these anywhere. You can do them in a house, you can do them in a hotel, you can do them at the gym. Going to show you the progressions with weights, but initially, you want to get the form and technique right. And if you can make this work for you and really isolate the glute and the top of the hamstring, also hits the quad, you're creating magic, because again, it's about propelling you forward, but making a more robust athlete. So what I would do initially, if you're struggling with balance, or if this is a new exercise for you, I like to do it on a bench. So what I'd do is put my other leg really, really comfortably on that. And then if you've got something like a bar or something to hold on to, might make it a little bit more easy for you until you get the technique right. It's all about getting the technique right. I see so many people coming into the gym, and the technique is everywhere, and they're not getting, if they're doing 100 reps that session, they may be doing 30 right or getting the benefit from 30. We want to be doing 100 reps and getting 100 rep benefit. So this, you're getting down to a point where it's kind of, you can see the 90-degree angle. You can see the calf engaging a little bit and the quad engaging. And we're feeling to the point where we can feel the glute engage here. And then what we're doing is we're just moving up. Everything is in control. If you need to hold on, you can do. You won't need much to hold on, just to balance the exercise. And in actual fact, initially, instead of going all over the place, it might be better for you to completely be balanced so that you can isolate the muscle that you're trying to really work. Exactly the same on the other side. So the big things here are, make sure your other foot is completely relaxed and in place, super comfortable there. It's not going to slip off. And I'm looking at the other side. I've got a little bit of balance here from this. I'm trying to isolate the glute, the hamstring. We're also going to feel the quad do some work. And the calf is also going to kick in, but we're trying to put as much of this on the glute as we possibly can. We're going down, we're controlling the movement. I can feel the glute firing. It's fantastic. And I'm thinking, I'm getting faster. I'm getting faster with every single rep. I'm improving my stride length. I'm becoming a more robust, powerful athlete. I'm not bothered about weight. I'm not bothered about using dumbbells right now. I'm just bothered about getting the technique right, getting the form right, and feeling this glute really burn, which you will do. And again, because you've got the other leg resting, you can get straight onto the other leg. Don't worry about pace. Don't worry about trying to do them as quickly as possible. Really focus on getting the most out of each rep. Really hitting the glutes there. You should be able to feel it. Only need 15 seconds rest in between. Because you're doing one leg at a time, you can pretty much do them continuously. And yeah, we're really attacking the glutes again. Okay, number 3. If you get these 3 right, you're laughing. Number 3, hamstring bridges. Now, it may look like nothing, but once you start to do it, all we're gonna do is sort of be on our heel and hold for 5 seconds. So it's kind of like a backwards plank. And we just eventually hold in so that we can feel the hamstring start to engage. It may start to shake after 3-4 seconds, but hold it for 5 seconds. We're just going to do 20 times 5 seconds on each leg. And then do that 3 times. So at that point, I can feel the hamstring. Really simple. So 20 times 5 seconds times 3. What you want is to start feeling the muscle belly here sort of really kind of engage, and then initially it will feel like a lot after you've done sort of 10-12 reps. If you stick with it, and again, like anything, if you need to start these exercises and you're doing 3 times 10 or 10 times 5 seconds and then 3, great, progress on. Exactly the same with your interval running. Progress on from 10 to 12 to 15 to 18 to 20. Rome wasn't built in a day. It can be, as long as this is consistent, it can start small and then move on to something. So if you find one of these exercises challenging, inserting the habit is way more powerful than just going into week 1 and really sort of being powerful in all areas. If you box off the habit and make this consistent, and that's the key. Without this being consistent, a lot of runners, what they will do is they'll have structure in place. It'll be ad hoc for part of the year. And when I'll ask about strength, what do you do around strength? They'll sort of give me a vague answer. When I dig a little bit deeper, it essentially happens when they remember it, if they're doing it specifically for their sport. That's fine, and if you kind of get bursts of motivation throughout the year, I understand that sort of every different area of your life will improve. Maybe your diet gets better for 3-4 months of the year when it's coming towards summer. Maybe all of a sudden you start to think about strength sessions because you know you're going to be on the beach with your shirt off. Maybe you're working towards a race, and then all of a sudden you get very, very strict with all aspects of your life. If you can sort of keep the consistency year round, make sure your sleep is on track, reduce stress, make sure your diet's in check. You know what a good food is and a bad food is. You know that you need fueling, and you know that recovery is key. And if you're doing the strength on a weekly basis, I like to do my big leg session on a Monday. So I know that I've got a Sunday long run, building endurance. I've got the Monday strength session, which is really hitting the legs. Then 2 days later on the Wednesday, I'm doing the interval session, which is a bigger session, which is going to be moving my speed and speed endurance forward. As a week, very, very difficult to go off the rails there. With a couple of recovery runs and a couple of easy runs, you've got the perfect week there, and then it's just about adding the progressions over the week. But if the strength training stays consistent, you're going to reap the rewards in all of your running.